How's it going? In this video, I'm diagnosing a 2018 Ford F-150. Driver's heated seat is working, but it's getting too hot on the left side of the seat cushion, burning their left leg sometimes. I believe it also didn't work at times. There were no trouble codes in any of the computers, including the driver's seat module E. We're looking at current right now. It's commanding it on. When I hit the switch, the computer is showing that it's, has current flow about 10 milliamps, 9 milliamps. By the way, I believe at 95% duty cycle, 20 to 30 milliamps is normal, but that was with the new ones I put in. So this is a module. Because I don't have any codes, I want to look at the module and I just want to kind of peek around, see if anything looks burned up. It was easy to get to. I have to disconnect it anyways because I need to ohm out the wiring and the elements. I didn't see anything. If you decide to open up the module, any computer, be aware that, they're fragile and they don't like static electricity. So be careful. Okay, now I'm ohming out the heated seat elements. There's a seat back and a seat cushion. This one I believe was wired in series. So if one's out, say open circuit, the other one's going to be open and they both won't work. Sometimes Ford wires them in parallel. So look at the wiring schematics. Okay, I'm in the seat and instead of a little bit of change, I've got a lot of change. My ohm meter is showing quite a big difference in resistance. Right now it's 6.3, it's steady. It really should stay that way even if you get in the seat. Maybe a little bit of change, but it should not jump around as much as this one is. So I'm pushing down right now with the ohm meter hooked up, taking the place of the module on the power and ground wires for the element. And in a minute here, you're going to see the resistance jump up a few ohms, which is obviously bad. And it's the same spot where their left leg would be, so it makes sense that we have added resistance and increase in resistance. Now those elements have copper strands. There's not much resistance to them, and within the strands, there's probably a built-up area that's burnt, that's gotten too hot, maybe some breaks in the wire. So it's not insulated. It's just bare copper strands, a lot of them, wound in a path under the upholstery that you'll see in a minute. And in case you're wondering, my ohm meter and any ohm meter, it takes a battery because it has to send electricity through your meter leads to whatever you're checking resistance on. Typically you'll have a 9-volt battery in a DVOM voltmeter. In this case, we'll call it an ohm meter since I'm checking resistance. So when you were looking at those numbers, I'm basically sending electricity through the wires of the element, and it's checking resistance by doing that using Ohm's law. So pretty good way to test a circuit, especially heated seat elements. You can also try using a thermal gun. Snap-on makes thermal imagers for about $1,000, I think. And then you can buy them online for less than that and hook it up to your laptop if you want to save some money. Nice thing about thermal imagers is you'll see hot spots in the heater elements in the seats. So it can be a quick diagnosis, possibly using that method. So years ago, for a long time, upholstery was fastened to the seat frame using hog rings, like you would see on a hog's nose. Luckily, car companies decided to go with something a little bit easier, and so they started using these plastic fasteners that kind of snap into the seat frame edge, and it's a lot easier to work with. I will say sometimes I've seen, say for example, Jeep Cherokee, late model Cherokees, that system that clips the upholstery and the seat frame kind of tugs on it, can pop out if somebody's moving around too much. So sometimes you have to fasten it with screws under the seat so the upholstery doesn't pop out, cause a ripple. Okay, so right now the seat is out of the vehicle.
Okay, now
we're going to gain access to the seat bottom heater element, seat cushion. And we're going to, once we get to that, we're going to look at it a little further. In this case, when I get to the heater element, there's the fasteners I was talking about for the upholstery. When I get to the heater elements, you're going to see that there's no burnt spots. There's nothing obvious, but it's definitely got a bad heater element. I also didn't record me replacing the seat back heater element. That one definitely follows service information, a little bit more involved. That upholstery zips. There's a zipper that's hidden, and there's also a side airbag with explosives in the seat back upholstery. So obviously make sure your battery's disconnected, airbag system's powered down. You follow service information. You do not want an airbag going off in your face. Okay, so we're almost to the point where we got the upholstery unfastened from the metal seat frame. In a second here, you're going to see what it looks like underneath. Sometimes there's little hidden upholstery sections fastened to parts of the seat, like this piece here. Take your time. Don't go yanking on anything. The upholstery is expensive. The foam pads are expensive. The only thing that wasn't that bad was the heater elements. They're $30-$40 a piece. Okay, so I've got the seat cushion unfastened. This is the bottom side. That's a cooling fan. So it also cools the seat with another switch on the dash. And it has holes in the foam. Cools off the leather seat pretty quickly. Really handy. This one had lint built up in the blower motor. I took the lint out of the blower cage because I noticed it was noisy before I took it apart. And after I got it back together, it was still noisy. So that little bit of hum noise from this fan motor to cool the seat, it would need a new fan motor if they're worried about the noise. All right, there's the heater element. And it's actually visually doesn't look bad. There's no burn marks, but there's a lot of tiny little strands of copper within the brownish lines that you see. So those lines are copper strands of wire without insulation. And that's what heats up the upholstery. You got to be really careful with these releasing these orange clips in the foam. They can tear out the upholstery, or they tear out of the foam pretty easily. So you do not want to, just go yanking the leather upholstery off of the foam. Maybe it'll work for you, but I don't like chancing it. I'm using a long little pick here to try and release some of these orange clips that hold the leather upholstery in place. And it's just basically some light adhesive that holds the heater element to the foam. You can just pull it off. There it is. There's the old one. Just power and ground goes through the copper strands there, and that wiring has a little bit of resistance built into it. If it had no resistance, it would burn up and it would be a direct short. And we don't want that, so. Okay, the new one was a little bit different looking. I verified it was correct with Ford. They redesigned it, so it's not exactly the same shape, but it is for this vehicle. Always make sure the part is for the vehicle. Sometimes the VIN numbers can get mixed up in ordering. Sometimes the wrong parts get pulled. This one was correct. Now I'm testing the resistance of, let's see, it looks like the old one first. Got close to 10 ohms. Move it around. It's changing. It should not be changing. And then I tested the new one. And when I tested the new one, it was 1 to 3 ohms. I want to say it stuck close to about 1.4 ohms, and I moved it and it didn't change in resistance, which is good. That's what we want.